Hello everybody, how's it going today? So thanks very much for joining me, and I just want to let you guys know before I actually start the video that yeah, the courses are still on. If you are interested in getting the yearly membership, I'll still honor it, right? I'll still honor it if you get the yearly membership by crypto or by whatever, or on there as well through the LaunchPass site. I'll give you guys access to the course as well for free, right? Which is kind of a great deal in my opinion. And if you're also interested in the course, only for this video, I'm not going to say it often, okay? If you're interested in the course for $100, just sign up for the premium group for 1 month, and you can get the course for $100. So that's basically $135 altogether for 1 month of the Discord group with me, and also the course as well, right? That you're gonna get. That's a good deal. It's a lot better than paying $450 on Udemy, that's for sure. So anyways, enjoy the video. It's a very passionate video, so I hope you like it. Hello everybody, how's it going today? So it's now March the 13th right now, and we're gonna dive into a Bitcoin technical analysis. I thought that I would wear the perfect shirt, if you guys can see. It's a Michael Jordan shirt with a bowl on it, right? Congratulations to Bitcoin for hitting $62,000, and congratulations to you if you hold Bitcoin, okay? And if you have made the decision to get into cryptocurrency, it's probably obviously one of the best decisions you've ever made financially. But I'm gonna get into it a little bit fundamentally as well, just to show you guys that I'm not just a technical analyst as well, right? Of course I follow Bitcoin, I hold Bitcoin because who wouldn't hold Bitcoin if you're in this space, right? It's something you just gotta do, man. But unfortunately, in my opinion, there was a massive rally in 2017 that went from $700 to $20,000. And then you all saw it on the news, and then you all said, I wish I bought more Bitcoin, or I wish I bought Bitcoin, and you didn't probably, and a lot of people didn't, I'm sure. And you said to yourself, crap, I missed the biggest chance of my life. And then, you know, you see it go from literally $3,000 last March to $62,000 this March, right? Which is now a much bigger gain actually, okay? It's actually a much bigger return. And that's just incredibly huge. Because, you know, 700, you know, if you do the math, 20,000 divided by 700, that's only 28 times, right? But if you take 62,000 divided by 3,000, right? Oh, it's both the same actually. Sorry about that. Or last bull run was very similar. My mistake, for some reason my math was a little bit wrong in my head. But you know, it's a very similar gain as well, where we're talking about 2,800% returns versus a 2,000% return now. It's still massive, right? That happened in this March. And then you missed it again, right? When you had an opportunity. So I'm sorry to say that I don't think it's ever going to be possible again for anybody to see these types of returns on Bitcoin, right? You'd have to take this. So you'd have to take, for example, 62,000 times, you know, 2,800 basically, right? Is that what it was? 700 times. Sorry, that was way off. You'd have to take 62,000 times even say the same rally, it would have to be 20, right? So if you were to buy it now to have the same type of returns in terms of percentage, Bitcoin would need to go to $1.24 million, and that's kind of far off in the future, if even possible, right? So I'm sorry to say, but you missed out on it, right? So let's talk about Bitcoin and why this rally could have happened, okay? So we're going to talk first of all about what Bitcoin is, right? It's decentralized, it's on a blockchain, it's a currency system that's trying to compete with traditional monetary fiat systems, right? And why are they doing this? Why are they trying to compete with normal money? Why do they want to be a digital powerhouse in the world, right? I'm going to keep this on the most fundamental level because I am a technical analyst. I am not an economist. This is just what I've learned from my own personal experience, and I want to share it with you with my own thoughts, okay? I may be wrong, but I think most of it will probably be right. So we have to think about 2008 when the economy collapsed with all this, you know, CDOs that were being packaged and crap like that. making it look like they've been rated really high, right? But you know, everybody's buying them up, and a lot of dishonest companies out there, right? And everybody was more so in it to line up their pockets, whatever. There's so many different factors that ended up causing the crash, right? Which I'm not going to get into because I'm not an economist, right? But what I do know is that many people were affected in the world, many countries, every country. There was a massive economic collapse where people lost their 401ks, taxes were jacked up, and it's really sad actually. I'm getting upset right now just thinking about it. How sad it was that people were really affected in the world, and the bailout that was required, and how long it took, right? Because of these corrupt government officials, and only 2 fucking people were ever arrested, and they weren't even charged, right? Isn't that just fucked up when you think about? Isn't that so fucked up, guys? Like, you know, this is why I'm so passionate about crypto. It's because I've seen so many fucktards on TV not even get arrested, and so many CEOs and so many, you know, of these Wall Street warriors that they're trying to line up their pockets, and all that they fucking care about is money at the expense of normal people. You know, back then, like you and I, where people had to just imagine losing your retirement money. Like, can you actually fucking imagine that happening to you? Holy shit, man. It's really sad how many people in the world were affected, right? In 2008, and eventually the bailout came out. And that's why, and you know, the Federal Reserve can print off unlimited amounts of money. There's inflation and shit. You don't know where half of the money goes, what kind of budgets they're hiding, right? You know, budgets for the military or whatever. There's just so much lack of transparency in the world. And this is why shit like this happens. It's because of people. It's because of people's fucking greed. And that's the truth, right? So what happened, guys? Eventually, something rose. A phoenix rose from the ashes. And that was Satoshi Nakamoto introducing the white paper it's now called Bitcoin. Okay? Actually, my mistake, right? 2008 was the economic collapse. And 2009 was when Bitcoin first came out. It was early January 2009, okay? And it basically was a paper saying that it was a very transparent type of currency with a limited amount, right? With a very finite amount, like gold equivalent, right? And it's, you know, you got to mine it, you got to put in work to obviously get it, right? So it costs something to get it. And we have to understand that what's the difference between your money in your bank account that you're using your debit card or whatever your ATM cards for to pay for something, right? And an actual currency like Bitcoin that's also digital as well. How the fuck is that any different to anybody, in my opinion? To me, it's the same on a very basic level. I'm using a digital currency to pay for something which I don't even have in my actual hand. And I'm talking about normal money, right? My Canadian dollars in my bank account is just a bunch of numbers and you know, ones and zeros that I see, okay? That I see on my phone or on my computer, which is no different than a number that I personally see on a computer for Bitcoin. Unless someone can explain to me how that's any fucking different, right? You know what I mean? So Bitcoin is really transparent, okay? It's not, you know, it can't, sure, people thought at first, like, it's the dumbest argument ever. Oh, it's only used for illegal things. Yeah, maybe back in the day when people didn't know shit about it, but nowadays you can track everything. You can track every transaction, right? But at the same time, it's unalterable. Meaning that, you know, it's this decentralized platform on everyone's computer or the people mining that it's almost impossible to hack. It's impossible to hack the network, right? It's so transparent where you see where the money goes. And then you compare that to a normal government that hides money, where they want to print more money, and we wouldn't even know about it if they did, right? It inflates, right? It loses value over time. I don't know about you guys, but I remember going grocery shopping with my mom and my dad when I was like 8 years old with $50, man. And that shit got you a lot back then, you know? Nowadays, $50 gets you fucking nothing at the grocery store. Inflation just ends up getting killed because we can print off so many. But Bitcoin, guys, there's a very finite amount, right? And over time, it ends up increasing in value. And it increases in value because It's a finite amount, just like gold. If it's the last bit of gold left in the world, right? It's gonna definitely go up. People are gonna lose Bitcoin, right? They're not gonna know where it went. It's gonna disappear because it's gonna go into some offline wallet, and some people are gonna forget about it. Or there could be some guy, that just forgets about it on some exchange, and the exchange, it just sits in his account or whatever. Like shit can happen. You can lose your keys, etc. So over time, Bitcoin is gonna go up because of the finite amount, right? And it's gonna go up because people are just gonna lose it. There's gonna be less in the world as well. And I don't know if Bitcoin is actually going to be the main currency system in the world, but what I do know is that it's the grandfather that's paving the way for just cryptocurrency in general to have a very important technology that can be contributed towards businesses or just the world in general. And so, I love Bitcoin so much, if you guys can't really tell. I don't know, I know a lot more about it, but I'm trying to make it very simple, right? Just to let you guys know why in 4 years now, okay? In 4 years now, I started crypto in early 2016. Holy crap. It's been that long. It's crazy. I used to live in my mom's basement, and try not to get emotional here. My mom and my dad's basement, and I would ask them for like quarters and loonies, and I'm like 30 years old, just so I could buy like a gram of fucking weed. I'm not kidding. I was that hard up, man. Just so I could buy a gram of weed. Well, I spent every fucking minute of every day learning how to do technical analysis. And I spent about 16 hours a day. The camera's getting smaller, guys. Sorry, I don't want you to see me. I spent 16 hours a day learning how to trade, Googling everything that I didn't understand, and putting in so much work that now, if I go back and add the hours that I put in, okay, I'm okay now, guys. If I put in the hours, if I add up the hours that I put in, I bet you anything I put in more fucking hours than a doctor did, more than a surgeon. I'm not kidding. More than somebody that would take to get their PhD, guaranteed. Because I'm that dedicated, right? And I put in that much hard work. So don't think for a minute that if you sit next to me for a day, you're gonna learn everything overnight. Shit like that doesn't happen. So Bitcoin is reaching a really ridiculous amount because of the fundamental value that it has and the impact it has on currency systems in the world, right? Fiat systems in the world. And its penetration now is almost mainstream. We're talking about a $1.7 trillion market cap now. $1.8 fucking trillion. Do you know that this used to be $350 to $500 billion? And now it's literally tripled in less than a year. Quadrupled, times 5. So you can see how important Bitcoin is and how scared banks are. How scared central banking systems are. How scared like JP Morgan and shit like that were back then, where they would do things like say, don't buy Bitcoin, it's gonna go to zero. And then a few months later, you catch fucking Jamie Dimon basically, implying that a lot of their investors are into Bitcoin, right? They have a lot of holdings for their investors. It's kind of funny, like you guys remember, I'm downplaying it obviously, but you remember how ridiculous that was back in the days, right? Yeah, it's incredible how much of a threat Bitcoin is to the world, right? It has literally the capacity and the power to usurp traditional monetary fiat systems. Usurp means to do a hostile takeover, right? And to throw over a government, right? And then that can happen really easily, in my opinion, one day. So you think of the impact of Bitcoin and what it has around the world in terms of its transparency. That's the most important thing. It's transparency. Its ability to not be hacked. Anybody can look at it. Not a single person owns it. Your $10 is worth $10 because everybody fucking agrees that it's worth $10, But if it's like, for example, Venezuela, when hyperinflation and shit like that happens, where it's so sad to see. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Venezuela. I'll show you guys. Money on the streets. Do you guys remember this? This was such... This is like... This picture is fucking heartbreaking. Do you know how heartbreaking that is when the money... When your money in the world, it means fucking absolutely nothing, and it's littered in the fucking streets, and this is your own country, right? It's because of governments. It's because of fucking governments and their goddamn greed that causes shit like this where people get displaced. Nothing is worth anything at all. Like, do you know how sad that is in my mind? How people are literally getting fucked over because of the government all the time. And that's what Bitcoin aims to do. It aims to empower the people that have Bitcoin, right? Like when I say no one owns a Canadian dollar or American dollar, but you own your Bitcoin if you have it. Like that's what I meant to say, right? If you have 2 Bitcoin, that fucking shit is yours, man. You know? It's in the blockchain. You can take it offline, put it into your private keys. It's yours, right? 2 Bitcoin, you know, down the road, it's probably gonna end up going up to be worth a lot more. It's probably going to go to $100,000, I'm guessing, in less than 2 years. So I'm just trying to explain, like, kind of fundamentally, in a very basic way, why Bitcoin is rallying so much. It's definitely having before there was a ripple, right? But this ripple turned into a wave. And this wave is now, it's unstoppable, right? It's just how it is. So maybe I should get into a technical analysis now, okay? I got really, really heated in this conversation. And you know, like, it's really amazing to think of how crypto changed my life, right? I'll just talk about one last thing and then we'd start. You know, like I mentioned, I was scraping money just to get some weed and then to study my ass off, right? And then I finally got another job because I wasn't doing the best trading, right? At all. Lost all of my money. Like, it was heartbreaking. So I had to get another job at some shit. My last job I ever had was at some shitty company, doing like being a rep for some territory for like office supplies and shit like that. And I got fired from there because I had a major drug problem. Yeah, that was really sad. So I had to move back home to my parents' place, right? And then I went on EI, like unemployment insurance, you know, like welfare basically for getting fired, you know. And then I had $4,000 total, okay? $2,000 I just happened to buy Ethereum randomly without not knowing much about it. This is in 2016 when it was like $10. And actually less, like, yeah, around there, maybe. And then I had $2,000 left where I bought 4 video cards. This is actually March now, okay? This is March 2016, I spent $2,000 on 4 video cards, 1 motherboard, a bunch of riser cables, a good power supply to power all 4 of them, and they were all Radeon HD 7990 video cards, very powerful cards back then. Then I happened to mine about 200 Ethereum in a year. And now we go back to 2017, like in January. Then the $2,000 I have, you know, and this is after I got fired, right? I spent my whole last $2,000 on mining equipment and shit like that, and then I forgot how I had another $2,000 kind of just stored away. So now fast forward to 2017 early, I got 200 Ethereum, and then I buy 200 Ethereum for around $10 each. So that's $4,000 spent, and then May of 2017 comes around. All of a sudden I have $150,000 because I sold 400 Ethereum at $350 each. Holy shit. Yeah, then it changed my life. So then I said to myself, I vow to change everyone's life. And that's why I'm here doing what I do for literally a fraction of the price of what you guys should be paying. Like, my courses are cheap as fuck when they should be worth thousands of dollars. My Discord group is worth way more than $35 a month, guys. It should be worth like $70 a month more. But I had such a life-changing circumstance that I want to help everybody now. I think I have a pretty decent heart. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for crypto and everything that it's provided me with in such a short period of time. So anyways, let's get into Bitcoin's technical analysis, shall we? I think that we are reaching very much so a top, right? 60,000 is probably a top, like I mentioned, that every time we reach a 10K, you know, a multiplier of 10,000, it's gonna end up causing some sort of resistance, right? So we look here now that we say to ourselves, this is 1, that's gotta be 2, this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so this makes 3, 4, and we're getting to a 5th. So be careful, guys. Like, I'm warning you right now that this is gonna be the top very soon. We knew, guys, okay, that this was 3, 4, and I called that fucking rally. Not to 58K, but I called it to 50K, 52K, I think. No, sorry, yeah, I called it to 50K for sure. So now, but I did call a bearish reversal, right? I thought we were gonna dip way lower than that. That I was entirely wrong about. But now my confidence is really high that this is now 1, 2, and this is some ways 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 up there. In fact, you can easily identify it here even 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5. Okay, so then this has got to be a 4. That means that there's a 5 coming up, which means that we have to be able to check out what the fuck this structure is. Okay, and we have to understand that these are massive structures. Okay, look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the best way to see this is probably like on a daily for sure, right? So now we have to figure out this. Okay, we have to figure out, is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's kind of finishing. Actually, let's go lower time frame around there. Okay, and then this finishes the 5. Okay, let's make it a bigger one. 5, right? And then the 5 is done, right? And then we get a really small one. Do you see what I mean? A small 5, and then we're done. Because the 1 was small, 1, 2, 3, big 3, 4, and a 5. But the big question is this. This is the bull version, okay? Or is this just this? Where this is now just, you know, for example, I don't know where the 5th is here, but that's just 1, 2, and then there's a 3, right? And then 4, and then the 5. You know what I mean? Because is that possible? What do you guys think, huh? So if that were true, we could be going to $100,000. I'm not kidding. So let's talk about the 100K version. Like, we're talking this year, guys, okay? Because clearly we're on some massive tear right now, massive rally. Look at the monthly. It's so disgusting looking at the monthly. That's crazy, right? Look at the weekly. It's so grossly, like, amazing. And our side on the weekly, on the monthly, is not even close to anything high yet. 75. Monthly is not even that high yet. It can go, it's got so much room to go if it wanted to get to $100,000. So let's talk about the $100,000 scenario. It's something that just goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Simple, right? I got company coming over soon, but not for long though. I'm gonna be working tonight, trust me. So now we get to literally $100,000. Right? Because we know for a fact that this is still like 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be this could be the 1 right around there. I say the 1 is under 65K, if not even reaching it already, but definitely under 65K. And I think that we're gonna try really hard to hold above the 58K region with a very bullish correction. And then after that, we're probably gonna get a massive spike if this ends up holding true. Massive spike to maybe the $75,000, $80,000 region. Okay, maybe even the 90s. You never know. So we get to the 90s, cracks back down way above here. Maybe even a deep correction. You never know. And then finally we head to $100,000 this year. Like, it could happen. Don't get me wrong at all, okay, guys? Like, I'm not saying that this is likely, but I'm saying that just based on everything, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 is, it could easily do that. But in order for it to do that, that'd be kind of almost ridiculous because this wave 5 would need to be very extended, okay? It would need to be very extended because, well, if you go from 40,000 or 42,000 to 100,000, that's obviously like $58,000, which would imply that wave 5 is bigger than wave 3. Makes sense? Because wave 3 started around $10,000 and it got to about 58, right? 10,000 to 58 is only $48,000. Wave 3 did $48,000. But in order for Bitcoin to get to $100,000, wave 5 would actually need to do $58,000, which is $10,000 more, which means wave 5 is bigger than wave 3, which means that wave 5 definitely needs to be an extended 5th wave. Okay? So there's a lot of criteria for it to hit there. And I think that there's a possibility. And if anybody says that it's not possible, you guys are not factoring in the fact that Bitcoin is uncontrollable, okay? Is it making a channel in here? It is, kinda. Oh, definitely it is. I'd say there's a good trend in here. A good roll going. Oh wow, it's definitely reaching a trend line resistance right now. I mean, I might look at it from a different perspective here. I'm seeing this as obviously 1, 2. And then some waves 1, 2. And this means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make the 3rd wave. 4 down, 5 up. And then this corrects down. So we're actually still in the 3rd wave. This looks like this is actually in the 3rd wave. Here, let me draw it out for you a little bit better. 1, 2, and this makes 1, 2. And then this makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make the 3rd, 4 down, and this makes the 5 up, right? And then the 4 down, and then there's one more. This is actually it right here, probably. I'm gonna bank on a correction to about $58,000 at least, or 59,000, and then we finish a 5th wave if we even. Actually, we're probably gonna fall out of here. This is probably gonna fall down to maybe 56,000-ish, around these particular regions. I'd say right around here, that region right there is where wave 3 is most likely going to bounce up to. Yeah, this is actually done, guys. And then we have the 5th subwave that's completing. We don't know where the heck that's going to be. But I'm going to really bet on this right now that we're that down. And then the reason I say this is because I'm going to choose, this is my 1, 2, that's my 3. Oh, actually, sorry. Let's do that again. You know what? This might actually be done all together right there. Like, we might be... You know what I mean? I'm going to delete this here. This might actually be done already. That one right there. Okay, I gotta do this again here. I got 1, 2, and this makes 3. That makes 5. Which makes the 3rd, actually. Okay, so then this ends up becoming the 3rd. And is this the 4th down there? And then this is the 5th? That couldn't be right though, right? Because this wave 1 is so unproportional. So let's actually take out some of this EWT here. Okay, this video is getting really long already. It's already 30 minutes, guys. I gotta call it this video, like, in no matter what, in 2 minutes, okay? And we'll do further analysis then. I'll jump into an EWT analysis way further. So right now we're looking at the 6 hour here, okay? So high, but not that high yet. It's not that bear skin diverging yet. Yeah, this is most likely a 1, 2, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So I think that we are done this particular wave, actually. Like, just generally talking about it, looks like that channel is gonna fall out. And then we finish the first wave. That's the best, the simplest way that I can probably do it, right? Could even start over here, and that could just be very truncated of some sort. So this makes 1, 2, 3, 4, and now it's finishing up the 5th. Yeah, I think that this is most likely a short-term top. Like a short-term top for now. because it is looking fairly bearish over here, right? Yeah, I'm confident with that. I'm confident that it's 50, like around here, 57 to 58K is gonna be a support, and I'm gonna bet on it right now too. I'm gonna say firmly that I think that Bitcoin's heading down to 57 to 58,000 for now, and a short-term correction's happening. So anyways, I'm gonna leave the video this, guys. It's already been 30 minutes. Holy crap, I can talk for so long. So I'll talk to you guys sometime soon, and let's start trading right away. Bye now.